Hi everyone, today we're looking at a soundbar with Dolby Atmos and DTS:X that is a 2.1 channel system with a built-in subwoofer. This soundbar delivers impressive surround sound and high quality sound that works well across a range of media, from movies, music to gaming, with an all-in-one design for a very reasonable price. This is the Sony HT-X8500. This video covers everything you need to know, from the unboxing to a look at its design and features, as well as a sound test and finally a sound quality review. Without further ado, let's dive in. Inside the box we have the remote control as well as batteries included, which is always nice to see. Next we have a pretty substantial AC power adapter as well as the power cord. Underneath we have the soundbar itself. First impressions, it definitely has some heft for its size, likely due to the built-in subwoofer. Lastly, in the box we have an optical cable. Unfortunately, there is no HDMI cable, something I would have liked to see included at this price point. We also have a startup guide and an instructions manual. Finally, we have the wall mount template, always good to see. Taking a closer look at the design, you can see this 35-inch soundbar compared to my 43-inch TV is best paired with TVs of this size and up. In terms of height, the height of the soundbar is 64 millimeters, which manages to still sit below my TV screen. This is great if you're like me and do not have a wall-mounted TV. Along the top, the soundbar has this faux leather finish, which we've come to see in some other Sony soundbars, and I think looks quite sharp. Unlike what you may find with many other soundbars with a glass or glossy top, this matte finish will not cast TV reflections. On the front, the soundbar features a matte black metal grille. While the design does not have a wow factor, it does feel solid, and because it is quite understated, means it will pair nicely with most TV setups. Let's take a closer look at the speakers. Now, this is a 2.1 channel system with a built-in subwoofer. Taking a look at the front, you can see we have 4 drivers. First, we have the left and right channel to handle the highs and mids, and then the built-in subwoofer in the center, which consists of 2 drivers to handle the lows. On either side of the soundbar there are 2 bass ports, which when the volume is turned up displays quite some air. Let's take a closer look at the controls. Now, along the top of the soundbar you'll find touch sensitive buttons for volume and changing source. I found these to be very responsive and to work well. Additionally, the soundbar has multiple LEDs to indicate source and power. However, there is no display, something I wish Sony had included, as this would make changing finer audio settings much more user-friendly. In terms of connectivity, taking a look at the back of the soundbar, for outputs we have 1 optical port as well as an HDMI ARC output. In terms of inputs, we have 1 HDMI port. I'm glad to see 1 HDMI input, allowing you to plug in your PlayStation or Blu-ray player directly into the soundbar, allowing it to act as a hub between your TV and other connected devices. Additionally, the soundbar supports Bluetooth 5.0. This allows you to connect your smartphone or tablet and essentially use it as a Bluetooth speaker, allowing you to stream your music or podcasts. In terms of setup, the setup could not be easier. Simply connect the soundbar to your TV using HDMI ARC if you have it, or optical. Do bear in mind, to get the best sound quality through Dolby Atmos and DTS:X, you will need to connect using HDMI ARC. Setup really is plug and play, which is great to see. Before we get into the features and sound quality, I want to give you an idea of how the HT-X8500 sounds with a quick live audio test. Let's have a listen.
What is it you're trying to say?
We're going on the internet.
What?
Now let's take a closer look at the features as well as the sound quality, starting off with surround sound. I was immediately impressed with the openness of the sound. The biggest strengths and features of the HT-X8500 are the Dolby Atmos and DTS:X integration, along with Sony's vertical sound engine, allowing for an impressive surround sound experience without having speakers placed all across the room. This simulates a full 7.1.2 surround sound system from a single unit. But how well does this really work? Well, it does not replace a proper surround sound system, but it does come a long way, making a significant difference to the listening experience. Though you do have to sit pretty much right in front of the soundbar in order for this to work best. And when you do, there is a true sense of immersion that comes from a very wide soundstage and true surround sound experience, especially on the horizontal axes. In the vertical axes, the effect is less strong but still noticeable. All in all, I was really impressed by how well the surround sound works, especially when watching movies. This really places you in the action. Due to the length of the soundbar, there is clear separation between the left and right channels, and this is further amplified by the surround sound effect, something you really experience when gaming. For example, in a first-person shooter, being able to hear the enemy player behind you before you even see them on screen, or letting you immerse yourself in an open world style game. And this brings us to sound profile. Now, out of the box, I would say this is quite neutral overall, with a slight emphasis on the low end. Highs are clear and well separated, making it easy to hear dialogue. Mids are present, however, could be emphasized just a little bit more, as at times these can be slightly muddled or overpowered by the lows. Speaking of lows, I was very impressed by how well the built-in subwoofer performs, providing deep and punchy bass. While it does not shake the house, it can definitely fill the room. Using the remote, the bass can be adjusted using the bass button, from which there are 3 settings to choose from. Now, this is again where a screen would have been nice to have, as I did have to refer to the manual for this. I kept this on the standard mid-level. My only complaint here is that the difference between bass intervals is very large. For example, the high-level bass provides too much bass to a point where this takes away from the mids. I would have liked to see more incremental intervals to adjust the bass more finely. And this brings us to sound presets. Now, on the remote, you will find many different sound profiles to choose from. This will allow you to easily find the sound you want. As you can see, there are many, so I will focus on a few of the key ones that I found myself using the most. First is auto sound. In this profile, Sony will automatically adapt the sound mode to the content that is being played. In general, I found this to work quite well. In my experience, this typically would emphasize the dialogue as well as the bass. Next is cinema. This is the mode I used most when watching movies and TV shows. This mode increases the bass slightly and further emphasizes that surround sound effect. This brings us to voice. Now, as the name implies, this adds volume to the dialogue and does so very effectively. This also decreases the bass and therefore makes voices stand out even more. Next, we have the night profile. Now, the night profile allows for clear sound when listening, specifically at lower volumes, emphasizing the essentials such as dialogue while also lowering the mids and bass to minimize disturbance. This may be useful for parents with young kids who want to watch TV late at night without waking the kids. Next, we have music. Now, the music mode does a good job at keeping voices sounding as natural as possible and generally showing clear instrument separation. However, for me, it removed a bit too much of the bass. I normally listen to genres such as rap or house, which typically have more low end, therefore prefer the cinema preset for this. However, if you plan to listen to music at higher volumes, this preset is good as it effectively keeps the sound in balance across a range of listening volumes. Each of the sound profiles we've looked at so far, I believe, serve a strong purpose, allowing you to easily adjust the sound and again find the sound that you want. I do think Sony went a bit overboard with the number of options though. Sound profiles such as news or sports seem a bit unnecessary. In terms of distortion, while the soundbar gets very loud, being able to easily fill a medium to large sized room, at high volumes you can hear the subwoofer struggle. There is no distortion, but the volume of the subwoofer definitely decreases. This happens around a volume of around 65% and up. However, to give some perspective, in my small to medium sized room, I listen at around 30%, so there's still ample headroom. If you plan to listen at high volumes and are looking for house shaking bass, I would suggest looking at a soundbar with a separate standalone subwoofer, much like the Sony HT-X8500 that I reviewed previously. As if you want to add a subwoofer or rear channels, this is not possible with the HT-X8500. Again, personally, I did not feel the need for this, as this is a very strong and complete package, but it's still something to consider. There is also no smart assistant integration, such as Amazon's Alexa or Google Assistant. I've experienced no issues with latency or syncing. One nice feature is that the soundbar will automatically turn on and off with your TV. Finally, behind the soundbar there is an RF repeater, allowing your TV's remote to still operate in case the soundbar blocks the sensor. Smart. Overall, this soundbar provides truly impressive sound, especially for an all-in-one design. The design does not wow, but will definitely complement most TV setups. Additionally, it is very versatile, performing well across movies, music, and games. Even though options to adjust the sound are limited, having ample sound profiles means it is so easy to switch between and find the sound you want. Dolby Atmos and DTS:X plus Sony's vertical sound engine provide a level of immersion that is normally not seen at this price point, really creating that cinema experience at home all from a single unit. This soundbar will provide a substantial upgrade to your TV's built-in audio for under $300. Links to the soundbar can be found in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, be sure to leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video.